Entering the Pat Mayo Experience.
Pat Mayo Experience. Pat Mayo Experience. Pat Mayo Experience. Experience.
Welcome to the Pat Mayo Experience, presented by DraftKings. NFL Week 9 best bets: the gold, the silver, the bronze. You want to hit the time codes, directly to the bronze picks, and watch it in reverse? You feel free to do that. That's not how the show is going to work, though. We're going gold, silver, bronze. Remember to smash the like, sub to the channel, and please sub, listen, download, and leave a rating and review on the Pat Mayo Experience audio podcast, because that helps out the show tremendously. Also, play in the DraftKings Listeners League. We need to fill that, or we're going to lose all of our guaranteed money. So there's 3,000 spots. It's about half full at this point. Link is down in the description. Additionally, if you want more betting content, highly recommend that you go to the Hammer HQ on YouTube. Hit the description. The link is down there, or just use that handy little search bar at the top of YouTube and type in Hammer HQ, and boom, you are good to go. RunTheSims.com/Mayo. Get you 10% off all the projections, the customizable tools for betting, props, and daily fantasy. Again, highly recommend that you check all of this out. Rob Pizzola won his gold pick last week, as we all did, and now you're in Mexico. So that sounds like fun.
I am in Mexico for a friend's wedding. It is very early in the morning here, hence the lighting. I don't have natural sunlight coming in the window, so we got back to the lighting jokes, I guess, from earlier this year. But having a blast. Love the Mexican food. Love the resort life. I wish I could live it permanently, Pat.
Did you?
To be honest with you.
Did you party last night? Wasn't it the Day of Muerte? It was basically an adult respecting the dead day, right, Rob? I'm not just a guy that does sports gambling shows. They have Halloween, and the day after they do a party for adults.
You are correct. I was in downtown Cabo yesterday. It was very cultural. Day of the Dead. They do celebrate November 2nd to 5th. So it's not just one day. The festivities go on. But
I like the Mexicans, they get it right. If you're going to do something, do it long. Like one day is not enough. That's perfect.
Agreed. Yeah.
So Rob, my wife and I were looking to go to Cabo, like after the Masters this year. So sometime in April. Would you recommend going?
Oh yes, it's fantastic. One of I've only been here a couple of days so far, but one of my favorite places that I've traveled to. Would highly recommend. We can touch base afterwards, Pat. I'll give you all the notes and recommendations, and you great eating spots. It's really
Cabo
good
rocks. Cabo rocks, man. I told you we won the cannonball competition there. The Mexicans. I went to the resort. It was fantastic, Rob. They got food there all the time. You're always having a good time. Lots of liquor. Like the people were friendly. I haven't had a bad time in Mexico, Pat. It's a great destination. My next one, I've talked to my lady. I don't know what it is. Cruising is kind of getting a bad rap in the world right now, but I'm going on a cruise. That's my next move. Definitely going on a cruise. You eat like a pig. If you have one meal, you can have two or three. You can do whatever. And you know what's the best thing, Pat? Not just monkey fights in international waters. Once that boat leaves, casino time, baby. Let's go.
Cam, when you say you won a cannonball competition, are you referring to cannonballing into a pool?
Yes. Not the ocean or whatever. It was that's where I told you I learned what bear was in Spanish, because they're like oso. I go, what the fuck's oso? Like, what's oso? They're like bear. Because anyway, it was a lot of fun. I was in Cabo when that happened.
But are there judges, or is it like the biggest splash? Like what's
yeah. Biggest splash, getting people wet. I was a lot bigger back then. Just and you do. I took it up a notch too. I did like a higher belly flop off the thing. Hurt you basically. It's almost like you got to hurt yourself to win a little bit, right? But it was worth it. I got a big bottle of rum. Back then I used to like drink rum, but now with the diabetes, it's vodka and soda. Yeah.
Looking back at last week, as I mentioned, 3-0 on the gold picks. Nice to get back on track. 1-2 silver, 1-2 on the bronze. So that's less good. But for the year, we're back up to 14-9-1 on the gold picks, 11-13, 11-12-1 on the other two. So let's get those two back above 500 this week. I'm feeling good. Rob, I mean, actually, this is probably more of a Cam question than a Rob question. But you know when things are going bad for you, Cam? Like I had 3 really bad weeks in a row. Like you lose all your confidence. But then like you read a game so well that you're like, oh, I'm back. Like that. It's probably not a good thing though, because then you get overconfident.
No, it's a horrible thing. I've learned from me. I don't know if Rob's different. When I walk into something with fear, no confidence, usually things go better. Pat, I was telling you, Rob's got Italian heritage. I talked about these guys. Like there was a point last month, I like every bad beat in the book, we were on it. Rob and I were on some of the same games. I talked about, the Italian guys say sleep with a woman who's not your race. I talked about that last week, preferably like very opposite, or tomato bath. I was going to go see, like, I'm dead serious. Like, I was close to going to see a fortune teller, Pat. When you're less confident, the better is. Every time I do a show, who's great like that? Camera 2 Drew. When I do a show with him, oh man, this one's a stone cold lock. Or, there's no way this game loses. I'm like, great. I'm on the other side. Like, when people talk like that, bad things happen. It's the truth.
Well, let's see if I can nail one. Tennessee came through for me. It's funny, Rob. I love Tennessee even more once Malik Willis was named the starter and the line shifted towards Houston. Did not understand that at all.
Well, I mean, listen, naturally, when you downgrade at quarterback, like there's going to be a market move regardless. I think you handicapped the game really well. Like looking back on it last week, you basically said that even if Malik Willis starts, the Titans are going to be able to run the ball down the Texans' throats. They've passed the ball 10 times in that game. I mean, they literally did exactly what you said. So, I mean, that's just the nature of a betting market, especially like when there's a downgrade at quarterback. Willis is a downgrade from Tannehill, but didn't necessarily need Tannehill to beat the Texans. So I thought your handicap of that game was really strong.
It's funny because I was speaking on the Spread Pick show, Cam, about that Chiefs-Titans game on Sunday night, that I would actually feel more confident with the Titans covering the 12.5, because the line would boost if Tannehill is out again and Willis is starting, only because I think that Willis would just get unleashed in garbage time and come back and have like a backdoor cover. Like they could be down 25 and then Willis is running around. Kansas City doesn't care. A lot like the Packers last week against the Bills.
Oh, I thought you were going to say like with Tennessee. Tennessee has a great record against these guys. And I was going to think with Willis, even more Derrick Henry, just give him 40 carries and keep Mahomes and the rest of the offense off the field. It's a lot of points, Pat. Good pick with Tennessee last week. I know Morency in the Super Contest, a lot of guys we work with are, and it's no offense to Rob, who I respect immensely, or we have a lot of guys on the team who are computer guys, and they were all like, no, don't take that game. Don't take that game. Don't take. And he's like, shut up. I'll take whatever the hell I want to take. And it was Tennessee. So, yeah, all of the picks won last week. I went with New England, Rob. I rode your piggyback yours because I like Seattle and a couple other things too. So, yeah, Pat, you know what? Was a good week. Hopefully we can keep the train rolling this week.
So, all lines from DraftKings Sportsbook as they currently stand. I'm going to give out my gold pick. I've bet it at 2.5, and by the juice on the side, it looks like it will go back to 2.5. But currently, the line is 3. I love the Bucks against the Rams this week. It seems like people don't seem to understand that the Rams are god-awful. Tampa Bay, not good either. But there's a few different things here. Tampa Bay is still second in adjusted sack rate. While their secondary is decimated, they still have no time to... I mean, the Rams aren't going to have time to throw against the Bucks. They can't block anyone. Now you have a good pressure offense coming at you. And it's not like the Bucks aren't moving the ball. They are moving the ball. They're just not scoring when they're moving the ball. So maybe the Rams D can step up and keep this game super close. I don't necessarily see it this way. I think this game is an under of the 42.5. This reeks of like 23-10 because I don't think the Rams are really going to get anything on the go. But the biggest thing to me, Rob, in this game is Cooper Kupp is going to play, it seems, but it doesn't seem like he's anywhere near 100%. So if you're going out there with a 75-80% Cooper Kupp, and that's the only way that you can move the ball, you're not going to score any points. So give me the Bucks.
I slightly disagree with you on this game.
Hit me.
I mean, listen, I'm not going to come out here and say, oh, the Rams, like they're this good team and they're misunderstood. It's just like now you need the Bucks to win by 4. I also think the Bucks are pretty bad and a team that's not really capable of winning by margin all too often. That's the only issue I have. I mean, there's a few other things here. I think particularly the loss of Shaq Barrett for the Bucks defense is huge. He had been generating the most pressures they had all year. I'm not saying that the Rams O-line is going to completely hold up in this game because they really haven't. But if you do look at games where they played a team that didn't have a great pressure rate, I guess the Falcons would be one example. They were able to move the ball in that game. I'm not your point about Cooper Kupp, it stands. And there's obviously a possibility that he even misses the game, which you do have upside in taking the Bucks at this number if he does miss the game. The last thing I'll say is last year, these teams played a couple times. McVay kind of owned this coaching staff as well. They set up some pretty good game plans. I'm starting to believe more in like styles make fights in the NFL, especially when you consider the Rams always lose to the 49ers.
It's true.
So it's, I would be more inclined to take the Rams at 3. I'm not rushing to bet them personally myself, but I don't like the Bucks having to win by 4 to win a bet.
Like I said, this game probably goes back to 2.5. I bet it 2.5 earlier this week. But for the purposes of the show, I'll take the 3. And I still feel pretty good about it, Cam. I just don't think the Rams can score.
It's a game that I left off my card. I think both teams have issues. And again, this is coming from the guy who's got like a drug addiction to the Lions. Like, I don't know. Like, and honestly, I could have gone 3. Hey, Rob, can you believe that 3.5, 4? They're killing Miami anyway. I might. But anyway, yeah, no, Pat, I just don't like the game. I do not like the game at all. I actually agree with Rob here. I don't want to take Tampa Bay because I think Brady and that team is broken. And I think the Rams have serious issues on their own. But yeah, I don't know. That game just didn't make my card, but I wish you the best of luck because you're our teammate and we want to win every game.
Thank you. So, Rob, do you have a gold selection? I think I know who it is, although the line has changed.
No, that won't be my goal. I'll talk about that one afterwards. But I'm going to go back to a team that let you down last week, Pat. I'm going to take the Raiders laying 1.5 at the Jags. And I really like I really like backing teams off of like these complete stinker games. And when we look at the
good angle
Raiders, we look at the Raiders last week. Okay, they had 15 guys that had the flu that weren't practicing over the course of their week. The entire wide receiver crew had the flu, didn't practice over the course of the week. Very hard to game plan for a team when you're not practicing out there, you're not running your scripted plays. It was a horrible game for Las Vegas. I think a lot of that was to do with the flu that they had over the course of the week. Now they get a Jacksonville defense who, go look at the Jags who they've played in terms of opposing quarterbacks. They made Russell Wilson look like Russell Wilson in his prime last week in the second half of that game. They made Matt Ryan look like he was Matt Ryan in his prime.
And Jacksonville has Steffi Graf leading the way. The guy throws picks from the 1 yard line. Yeah, honest to God. Hey, Trevor Lawrence coming out of Clemson. Oh, Trevor Lawrence. Like, honest to God, Rob, like, I don't know how you feel, but that guy is vastly overrated. He has not gotten better.
Well, he's not improving. People thought under Doug Peterson was going to be able to coach him up better than Urban Meyer. He still makes the crucial mistake. Like, listen, I mean, he's better than a guy like Zach Wilson or whatever. He's not going to, he can actually complete some forward passes, can Trevor Lawrence, but he's still making mistakes in the red zone. Overall, I think the Raiders team is a little bit undervalued. When you think about prior to that game last week, they were on like a decent run of, they smoked the Texans, which is, listen, it's not saying much. I get it. It's the Texans, but they almost beat Kansas City on the road on that Monday Night Football game. It was very close. They beat Denver at home, covered the spread in that game by margin. So I think we're catching a team at the bottom here. I think the Raiders are much better than people are giving them credit for.
The thing I would throw back on this is the thing that you kind of pointed out, Cam, that has crippled Steffi Graf is a good call, by the way. That has crippled the Jags.
Trevor Lawrence looks like Steffi Graf. It's like they're like doppelgangers. It's crazy.
But their inability to not only not score once they get inside the 10-yard line, but turn the ball over inside the 10-yard line has been really crippling to them. And the Raiders are the second worst team in football in allowing touchdowns inside the 10-yard line. That if there's a good, like you said, kind of styles make fights here, the Jags might actually be able to punch it in this week. That'd be my only hesitation. This game is a stay away for me because I don't really have a lean either way. And Vegas let me down so badly last week.
It's the time to jump on, Pat.
Yeah,
right after,
that's when you jump on.
Right after you can't bet a team anymore and you say, I'm done with this team, that's pretty much the time to get in.
Well, the problem has been I've been avoiding the Raiders all year because I don't think that they're very good. And I finally jumped on because I don't think the Saints are very good. And here's what happened.
Yeah. I mean, listen, the Raiders defense is nothing to write home about, but I trust the Raiders offense to score on the Jags defense more than vice versa. Also, I mean, we should point out Jacksonville's coming back from a London game. They're not taking a week off. The Raiders went straight out to Florida after last week's game. They've practiced in Florida the entire time. Don't think there's much of I think there's a travel advantage for the Raiders as well. So I don't know. I think a lot of things are working towards Las Vegas this week. I think they're a better team than people give them credit for. They've lost a lot of close games this year. I think they're better than their record indicates.
Is this just natural regression from what they did last year when they won every close game?
Exactly. I mean, but it's going to balance out over a longer period of time. Over the course of one season, like look at the Vikings this year, right? The Vikings are winning all these close games again. This is like the complete opposite of what they used to do, which was lose these close games. So over time, it balances out. But yeah, for sure. I mean, their point differential last year, I believe they got into the playoffs with a negative point differential or something like 0, which is unheard of. And it's because they won so many close games. And you're right, Pat. Now we're seeing the opposite end of it where It's like you just can't continuously pull those out unless you have Patrick Mahomes or Josh Allen or Aaron Rodgers or an elite quarterback, essentially.
Cam, your gold selection of the week, sir.
Again, you guys, it's the usual story. There's a lot of things I like exactly the same, but this game stuck out to me. Daniel Snyder and his wife, I hope they sell the team. The guy's an absolute stooge. Last week, this team killed a huge parlay of mine. I had Indianapolis as my final leg. Take the Vikings away from Minnesota, and I think that's kind of like they turn into a different team. I like the Washington Commies, Commanders, Condoms, plus 3.5 this week. I think they're going to win this game outright. I will take the points. I just think, listen, you can say what you want. Prince Harry sucks. Carson Wentz. Tyler Heineke, he'll grind. He'll make mistakes, but he'll grind. And if they're down in this game with a drive, I trust them to come back and win. I trust a backdoor cover. I trust a lot of things about this. A lot of good news surrounding Washington this week. I know they want different ownership, and Snyder's a snake. I just think that could actually inspire the team as well. There's a lot of things to like about Washington. Oh, yeah, by the way, the guy who shot Robinson, the running back, I think he got caught. I'm just saying, yeah, you know what I'm saying, Rob? A lot of positive things for the Commanders in the news. Usually the laughing stock of the league. Also, really, I'm taking this game because Minnesota's traveling to Washington. Give me the Commanders, guys, plus 3.5 as my gold pick.
So
I've not heard them called the Condoms yet. That's a new one for me. The Washington Condoms is not one that I've heard so far.
Commies? Yeah.
Yeah,
heard that.
Commies is like a play on Commanders. But condoms
exactly.
is just another word that starts with C.
Yes, that's why it's
Hey, maybe once they make this sale, maybe they can switch from FedEx Field to like Durex Field or something.
I like that. Yeah, that sounds good. Durex Field. Yeah, I'm not sure how Trojan users would feel, but Durex is a quality condom.
Yeah.
So I looked at this when this.
Bro, I'm just saying it's not the one you buy in the bathroom toilet stall. You know what I'm saying? Like that's a condom you can't trust.
The George Costanza ones.
Yes.
So, Rob, I saw this game when it first came out. We one thing that we've incorporated into the Sunday Night Live show is trying to, just rip off from every other popular thing that goes. We try to guess lines between Tim and I. And this was the one that I was off on the most, I think. I thought this was going to be like -6 for Minnesota, just that's the initial impression that I had. And I still feel like they should be bigger favorites than this. And then all of a sudden this sticks out to me like, oh, this is like the trap line of the week. Everyone's going to be on Minnesota. And every time that I've done that so far this year, be like, oh, I need to play the other side of this game because the team that I think is way better is obviously like they're trying to bait me into taking them. I actually like Minnesota in this game. I think that Washington's been incredibly lucky. And as I continue to argue with Cust about this, I don't think that Heineke's very good. I will give Cam the point of he does seem to try harder than Carson Wentz does. Like there's no point of the game where he's not trying to score touchdowns and like they've just given up
grinding
at any point. Mm-hmm. But I also don't think that he's good. So that's a problem.
Fair enough.
Yeah. I mean, this is a tricky one because I think you have two teams that are kind of outperforming their metrics overall. I agree with Cam. So I was going to make the Commies my bronze pick for this week. I'll just throw that out there now. It will be my bronze pick for this week. I like them in this spot. Minnesota and Arizona last week. If you were to just remove, if you look at the box score of that game and just remove the team names, you would have no idea how one of those teams won by margin, like won by more than a touchdown, which Minnesota did. The reason they did is because of the 3 turnovers for Arizona. One of them is a muffed punt by, what was it, Greg Dorsch or whatever. It was 28-26 in the fourth quarter. He muffs a punt. Minnesota goes and scores a touchdown. If he catches that punt, who knows what, like muffed punts like that to me is just the pure definition of luck. If you're a team that keeps getting those breaks, and Minnesota is consistently getting these breaks on a weekly basis. Now, is this going to be like the Raiders of last year where, I'm just going to keep betting against them and losing? Possibly. Like they might get to the playoffs at 13-4, some stupid record, and I'll still be there and be like, oh, this team's so lucky they didn't play anyone. But consider the amount of times this year where they were just in a close game or got lucky in terms of they played an opponent that just was a complete disaster in terms of injuries, whether that was Detroit or New Orleans or whatever, go up and down the schedule. And I think that these teams are closer than people realize. Washington, to me, has a very underrated defense. Like extremely underrated defense, and it's been improving on a weekly basis. I think this is too many points. I made this closer to 3, just under 3, actually, like 2.9. I'm with Cam here. I like the the Washington condoms.
Washington, second in the league against the run, 28th against the pass, but it does appear, I don't know if Chase Young's going to play this week, but he's out there with a gigantic brace at practice, so that's at least a positive sign.
Yeah, he's not. I don't think he's expected to return this week, but he has been activated from IR. He is practicing with the team. We'll see. I mean, maybe he gets in a few snaps here and there. I wouldn't expect him to be part of the entire game plan. But yeah, I mean, listen, I really think that this Vikings team is probably the most fraudulent of all the teams in the NFL.
More
I do. I mean, they can. Well, here's the thing, right? So when I go back to when I yelled at Cam, apologies for this last week, Cam, with the overrated, underrated stuff and whatever. But like, if nobody thinks the Giants are good except for Giants fans, right? Like every casual NFL fan can recognize that the Giants are not good. People think the Vikings are really good.
No, they like they're as good as I would push back on that. I feel like Minnesota is the fool's gold team that everyone kind of recognizes, and I think that's why this line is 3.5.
Maybe you're right. Maybe you're right with that. Like for my inner circle, I think my friends think the Vikings are really good, like a legitimate team.
Rob,
I don't know. I mean,
Rob, your friends are professional bettors.
No, that's not true. Most of my friends are not. They're like most of my friends are just a regular, average, everyday bettor that loves to parlay on Sunday. And
that's like our boy Frankie said. Your buddies are lemons, just like you. Remember when he said to me and Renzi, he goes, "You guys are lemons." And then he bets like 10 grand on a game and loses. I go, "Who's the lemon now?" Anyway, he just, guy had a lot of bankroll. But anyway, yeah, we're all lemons, Pat. It's hard to win in the NFL. Let's call it out for what it is. It's a Mexican soap opera. Rob's in Mexico. Things only happen at the end of the game. Flip a coin. Just be on the right side. You can break down all the numbers and stuff that you want. Give me a break.
There is a lot that comes down to luck in the NFL. You just have to face a reality and the difference
bad
between
flags, everything.
Yeah,
it's like, come on, man. Like sometimes you have great picks. It's just like and you could see when the wheels are falling off a lot of the time too.
Yeah, I went to bed on Sunday night right after the Bills turned the ball over from like the 2-yard line. I was like, they just kick a field goal. They cover my spread. I'm good to go here. As soon as they didn't get it, I was like, okay. Well,
that game felt manipulated, Pat.
Okay.
I don't know about
I'm just gonna say the Bills are up there 14 early, whatever, and then at the end, I'm just saying there's no urgency to step on a team's throat or do anything. Anyway, I'm not gonna get into it. They
played
the
JV squad for 20 minutes.
Yeah. Let's talk about this for a second because I mean, you would have to get to Josh Allen in order to manipulate.
I never said fixed. I said these things happen where you keep a team in TV, this and that, whatever. Anyway, I don't want to get into this.
Well, I mean, listen,
I'm going to say a lot of stupid things.
You didn't say fixed, but you said manipulated. It's kind of the same connotation.
No. Fixed and manipulate. I'm just saying sometimes I think TV ratings, commercials. Hell, Rob, me and Gabe talked about it before. Remember when they went up to Jeff Fisher? Hey. You know, can you make things longer? We're missing commercial time stuff. He's like, screw you. I'm not calling a timeout. The NFL, it's a business. Call it out for what it is. Okay. Sometimes bad things are going to happen in games. It's a circus. I'm not saying if you think games are fixed, you're crazy. I'm just saying there's certain agendas that the league has. Tell me how many people were betting Buffalo compared to Green Bay that night. That's all I'm saying. Anyway, I don't want to sound like I'm going on the crazy train again.
But how many people were betting Baltimore compared to Tampa on Thursday night? Like we can use these one-off examples.
You're right. I just woke up and the coffee's not hitting me the way it needs.
I think Josh Allen just threw an interception and that was it. Like that's what happened to the game. And
Rob, like don't you think weird thing? But you can't lie at the end of games. There's certain things that keep teams kind of rolling around for the drama and stuff like that.
We convince ourselves of this stuff though because we say, oh, like Vegas needs this side, and then anytime something happens, it's like, oh, Vegas made the call. Who did they call? Like these players are making millions of dollars.
I'm not saying Vegas made the call like these stupid trolls on the internet who like give up fake scores and stuff like that. I'm just saying it feels like certain games are. Sometimes I think anyway. I don't even want to talk anymore. It feels like there's an agenda.
It feels like there's something going on. I understand what you're getting at, but
I'm not saying it's fixed. I'm not saying it's fixed.
I wanted to ask you this, Rob, because I mean, Cam just kind of hit on it. These guys giving out the fake scores on the internet. So the amount of like bots that will comment below like anyone who is in the gambling spaces post with like, oh, fixed games and all this stuff. Who is clicking on this stuff?
Honestly, though, they wouldn't still be doing it if they weren't somehow making money. That's my whole thing. Sadly, there are people that fall victims to the worst and dumbest scams ever. Like, the emails where like, oh, I lost my passport in Nigeria. Please send me $100 via Western Union. And then there's like some old lady that's like, oh, I feel bad for this person. I'm going to like these scams would not still be happening.
The thing is, you got to change the countries up. That scam will work if you say I lost my passport in Tempe, Arizona or something. You got to get off Nigeria and those countries that they've been using a long time. Use a new one in the rotation. And I feel sorry for seniors. Fonts on boxes are too small. Everything. These people get treated like they're chumps. They should be treated as the kings and queens that they are for living this long. And a bunch of punk kids in this generation. I don't sound like, honest to God. Rob, I was on the Score app. They are biggest losers.
The chat and
honestly, I clicked on it just for a joke. The fake trolls with scores, whatever. These people, you guys need mental help. Like, you guys, I don't know what kind of person you are, who raised you, but you're an absolute fucking joke. Like, get off the world, man. You're hurting people. Rob, is the worst I've ever seen. You can't deny that fact. That's a fact.
The first time I contracted COVID was from the Score app. I was just checking the chat, and I was like, "Oh God!" Like it hit. Like I'm agree with. Like if you open up that
greasy,
chat, it's just people
greasy.
Goal, empty net, goal, no goal.
I know.
It's
a professional liars and shitheads club. That's what it is.
Well, did you see? I got the
bunch
blog,
of fuck sticks.
I got the blog TO story. It just kind of came across my timeline yesterday about a guy who made a video yelling at the GM of the Maple Leafs grandma on Twitter.
That was disgusting.
And
it was honestly hard to watch.
But the guy, hold on.
Sorry, Pat.
The guy who did the video, and people always say when I do my internet guy voice when I read comments, when I see a comment on the internet and there's no picture attached to it, and I don't know you personally, that is the guy that I think of who is leaving the comment. Like, it could not have been a better representation of who I think stupid internet person is. Like
just filming in a dark basement,
bad lighting in the basement.
Egg Avatar, Avatar, one follower. Just joined Twitter in 2022. It's not a murder mystery, people. It's easy to figure out.
Anyway,
right?
You're
you're so right. If anybody came up to my grandparents and pulled shit on, like, they're done. Anyway, Rob, that I couldn't believe it. Like, we used to work at the Score. Hey, it was nice. We love a lot of lovely people there. They got that chat should be disabled because it's sickening, actually.
Yeah, I mean,
it's full of fucking losers.
I think I argued for years against that chat, but that fell on deaf ears. I mean, It is what it is. There's people in there. Seems to be people enjoying it. I don't know why. I don't know what it's not even a chat. It's just people lying about what happened in the game over and over.
It's people fucking over people and lying about scores.
I literally sometimes just want to get like a college football update because the feed is slower.
Exactly.
Some of the college football schools, and it's just you have no idea. You would have no clue. Touchdown, turnover, interception.
That's right.
Like,
Missed kick.
Thank you.
Yeah. Lie. Yeah. Anyway.
Cam, do you like Rob's festive shirt? Like, you can tell that he's on vacation.
I hate to say this about Rob because I know he's an upstanding citizen. He dresses like a serial killer. Like when I watch all these shows, and I know I only have 5 golf shirts, but when you see these guys in the interrogation room, Pat, the only people who wear Hawaiian shirts are fat party guys and guys with a plan, a trick up their sleeve. That's all I'm saying. But Rob wears it well. And they also do wear hats and glasses too. Like, you are if I had a central
all serial
casting,
killers wear glasses now.
No, you're the guy. No, I'm just saying. On Dateline NBC and all these Chris Hansen shows, you look like a lot of the time where the guy, hello, what do I got in the bag? You know what I mean? I'm just saying, you got your kit.
So I'm going golfing in Cabo on Monday. This is my golf shirt that I brought. It is, when we started recording this morning, was 6 a.m. my time. I got bedhead, so I put on a hat. I grabbed the only shirt that is wrinkle-free.
I like the shirt.
This shirt.
I like it.
And I put on my glasses because I require them to see. If this is what makes me a serial killer in your eyes, Cam, I'm sorry.
I'll tell you. I'll tell you who's not a serial killer. People with LASIK surgery.
Oh, yes. And I guess because I have corded headphones as well, that would also make me a serial killer. That's another.
Agreed.
Everything that.
Hey, listen. I know I say a lot of stupid things on the show. I'm just saying a lot of guys that are in the interrogation room, they wear the fun Hawaiian shirts. If you're not a fat guy wearing a Hawaiian shirt, there's something going on. But you are golfing, so I could accept that. That's fine.
All right. That will do it.
I like you. No, Rob. I don't mean it that way. I know. Like, you know what I mean?
No, it's okay. I know what you're getting
Yeah.
at. Listen, you watch a lot of crime dramas. You see stuff that sticks with you. I get it. I think you'd make a bad detective, though, because you would single out like the guy that
I disagree. I disagree.
Room.
I could
No. You profile these guys before they even say anything.
I would not
You've
get tunnel vision.
Me.
That's the problem with a lot of these cops. They get tunnel vision. You got to look outside the box. I might have a theory going, maybe this guy, he's off a little bit, but it's anyway. Yeah, we'll talk about that.
If I committed a murder and you were the detective and you're interviewing everyone around me, I would probably just tell them to go into I'd be like, oh, this guy, like, he won't give you a hard time if you wear a Hawaiian shirt into the interview, and then you would be onto their scent. I would be able to throw you off like that.
The thing is, Rob, you'd be very good at murder because you're meticulous in your plan. You wouldn't leave any DNA, and you would be a hard guy to catch. But you're not a murderer. You're a sports handicapper.
Well,
I'm just saying you'd probably be good at it.
Cam, you might be onto something here. He just fled the country, so who knows?
Exactly.
True.
I don't know what he's doing in Mexico.
Silver picks for week 9. Rob, let's start off with you.
Okay, so I'm going to take the Chargers. Now, DraftKings has -3.5.
No. In real time, Rob, it has dropped to -3.
Beautiful.
This guy's got the same picks as me again, and we are totally different people. It's wild. Man.
This is one that I was circling too.
Okay, no, let's all do it then. Let's do it. No, we can be a team. I trust us.
We can mark the loss right now is what we can do.
No, we can't. No, the Chargers are going to go in there and murder these guys.
No, here's the thing. No Mike Williams, no Keenan Allen. You have this weird Atlanta team that just sticks around in games for no apparent reason. And it's the Chargers. They will find a way to win by 2.
So off the top of the show today, Cam says, I always find that I do way better on the games that I'm not confident in. When I'm super confident in something, it never works out.
Good call,
and then he
Rob.
comes out and says, the Chargers are going to Atlanta and they're going to murder these guys. Listen, I still like the Chargers. I honestly think that this is just a get-right game for the offense, regardless of whether Keenan Allen ends up playing or not. It's trending towards not playing. The Falcons don't generate a pass rush at all. They cannot generate pressure. So whoever's out there at receiver doesn't matter. I think Herbert's going to pick apart the defense altogether. I think this is a short price. I mean, the Chargers have really, the fall from grace from the Chargers has been nuts. They're coming off a bye. This has to be the spot. If it's not, then it's a serious, then the Chargers are just fatally flawed this year.
I love Jeff's posting too. The Chargers not playing this week is good for my mental health. Did you see that stuff? Hanging out with the family. Yeah. I love Feinberg. He said this guy.
He responded. He responded to you guys this week on the show, saying he claimed he doesn't think that he's a part of the team.
Oh,
really?
I mean,
okay. We still love him, but his obsession for the Chargers still with a family is a little bit concerning. But anyway, I love the man. I think he's a great guy.
The dead giveaway that he thinks he's part of the team is that when he talks about the Chargers, he says, we are going to do this. We're going to do that. He might think in his head that, I'm not, but he associates himself with the team. He says we all the time.
Rob, like in a murder mystery when they go was instead of is, you know what I mean? Oh, okay. So you killed her. Thanks. You're talking in the past tense.
That's the dead giveaway when the detective interviews.
Why are you saying was?
Yeah, exactly.
Is.
I don't know. I don't know where she was.
It's anyway, Pat, just tell Jeff, anyway, it's cool. Nothing, but I hope the Chargers do well for him and his family, because when the Chargers do well, his family probably reaps the rewards because he'll be in a better mood.
But he shouldn't be offended by this.
No, it's not.
There's nothing to be offended about. He's very passionate about something. He's passionate about his football team. He thinks he's part of the team. That's not a problem. It is what it is. I sometimes wish I had the same. I used to be like that.
Me too.
With the Cowboys when I was growing up. I sometimes still wish I had that passion, but they let me down for so long that I can't find it within myself.
Yeah.
So Chargers -3 for you. Cam, I am taking your team as my silver pick. Seattle +2.
I'm going to tell
Seattle.
Pat, I love you. Love you.
Seattle is just. It's either they continue to be disrespected by these numbers, or people think that Arizona is good, which they're not. So I don't know which one it is. I'll take the better team.
I love you, Pat. And honest to God, Rob, I will say this, sounding like Jeff, I have never been prouder of what this organization has done this year, even more than the Legion of Boom, the Super Bowl teams, the draft that they have, the way Geno Smith, his balls, he threw to Lockett were in his hands.
His
like
balls
he
are
is
dropping.
Absolutely amazing. I don't know what happened to this guy as a backup. He makes great decisions, zipping at the Metcalf. And I told people, Kenneth Walker, I watched him at Michigan State. The guy's sick. He's amazing. Why is Seattle taking a running back? They got Penny. Yeah, they got Penny, and he's on the IR because he's hurt. Great job by the brass, Pat. I hope they go into the I hope they kick the crap out of those stupid Cardinals who let us down last week against Minnesota. Yeah, I'm on you, Pat. Go Seahawks.
All right, who's your silver?
I didn't know where.
I wanted to take the Chargers, but
you can take the Chargers.
Take them. It's not like we cross them off the list after someone else takes them. It's the
maybe I'll make them a bronze pick. I just want us to have different minerals. Okay. So you have them as silver, correct, Rob?
I have Raiders silver. It was Raiders gold, Chargers silver, condoms bronze.
Would you guys still have me on the show if I took the Lions again? I feel like a masochist, and I like to be.
I like the Lions this week too.
Go for it.
How do you feel about the Indianapolis Colts?
Nope.
Rob?
Indifferent. Well,
Okay. I'm doing this again. I'm like a crackhead. It's like, you know what I mean? It's like an alcoholic.
Give me more opinions. Give me more opinions. What do you guys like with this?
No. My addiction is the Lions instead of like hitting the bet. I don't know what it is. These guys lose every week. I would have been perfect last week. I lost by the hook, Rob. By the way, I found a 4 out there, but you guys play it by the book. I get it. Anyway, Pat, give me those pesky Detroit Lions. Don't like the fact that they lost Hawkinson. Green Bay, whatever. I'll tell you something. They could have covered against Miami. The Packers have so many issues. I'm not even going to. You think the Lions got problems? Everybody and their mother's going to be on Green Bay this week because the Lions just lose and suck and don't cover numbers. One of these weeks, the Lion is going to take a bite out of Aaron Rodgers' neck. It's also a pick out of spite. Aaron Rodgers, the way he throws teammates and stuff under the bus, just Aaron Rodgers, to me, I'm going to be honest with you, I don't like him. I don't like him. I don't like the way he talks about people. He's a guy, I want to play with you, Pizzola, guys on the team. We're a team. It's not about you, Aaron, licking frogs in the desert, drinking absinthe. I don't care what the fuck you do. Give me Detroit plus 3.5.
I like it. I think, and Detroit over like the past 5 years or so, even when Green Bay has been really good, has fared very well against Green Bay.
They better cover, Pat.
Detroit.
They better cover this week. Like, I don't know why I'd come back to these. Without the Lions, I'd be in a better financial situation. I should hate. See, Rob, this team has let me down. Like, it's like a girlfriend. She's like out cheating. I know you're doing this. I know you're doing that. And I still love you, baby. Don't worry. Come back to me. We're going to work it out. The Lions screw me every week, but I'm taking them this week.
It's going to be like week 14 of 2027. And Cam's going to have like a long beard. And he's going to be like, I'm going back to the Lions one more time. They're going to. I don't have an opinion on this game.
I thought you liked the Lions.
I would lean. I could not bet Green Bay to win by margin right now as well. Like I think it's Lions or nothing, but the Lions won't win for you, Cam, until you actually stop betting them. That's just the way sports works.
No. Pat, defend me. Remember, I had the Lions every week on the thing. The problem was they were covering because they were big underdogs. I used to ride the Lions hard. Remember during our run last year when we were on fire? Yeah, the problem
all
is
those backdoor covers every single week, just losing by 21 going into the fourth quarter.
Yep.
They put up the big fourth quarter. It did, but those are big numbers. You're right. Yeah. That's the difference this year. I don't know. The Lions,
I'll still take them at 3. I'll still take them at 3.5, guys. Thanks.
The fumble against Dallas is still devastating to me. Like in terms of covering that game, I don't know.
Honestly, that's the thing. Like, it's like when you watch the Lions, you're like, should have covered. They didn't. It's like that. Those are the things I can't get out of my head. Eventually, luck is going to go their way. Last year, they covered all the back doors. This year, they can't do anything. I just think this week is a game. And Pat, to your point, they love playing Green Bay. They get up for the game. I'm getting points at home. I'll take it. Home doc.
Bronze picks for all of us. Cam, we'll start with you. Are you going to take the Chargers, or are you going to run through some more games here? Because let's talk about the Colts Patriots for a second. I don't
It's
know
a
if
trap
I'm gonna
line.
I don't know if I'm gonna make the Patriots my bronze pick, but this just screams, especially after Fields lit up the Patriots on the Monday night. Now no one has confidence. Belichick is gonna make one of these young quarterbacks look stupid. He's gonna make Sam Ellinger, especially if Jonathan Taylor doesn't play, look pretty stupid in this game.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing. There's reverse line movement in the game. Nobody thinks Indy's got it. It's just one of those games, Pat. I know New England's story. We were all on them last week against the Jets. It's just one of these games I can see Indy covering. But you know what? I respect you and your opinion. That's my problem. I do have a lot of problems, and I look too deep into stuff sometimes and think, there's too much money on this side and whatever. Pizzola knows it's not like a really time-tested or true strategy. It's kind of in my head. I've been doing it for so long. Can I ask, before we get into the picks too, I just want to ask one thing before I forget. Do you guys own a bidet?
Yes.
Do you think it's worth the money?
Yes.
Okay, because Scotty Farrell's trying to tell me it's life-changing. He says you won't have to buy toilet paper, this and that. Yeah. Okay. I was just thinking about buying a bidet. They're under 100.
You don't need to buy a separate bidet. There's a thing you can just hook up to your toilet. It's fine.
Exactly.
The problem is though, I've been told it starts cold. It doesn't go automatically hot. I'd like it to kind of get hot quick. You know what I mean? Is there one that has heat that I can get like the?
Yeah, you're gonna be
warmth?
paying. I mean, I guess it would be up your ass in this situation, but you're gonna be paying for the Insta warm in this. You just walk around with a cold hole, you'll be fine.
Yeah, well,
you got to go to Iceland and get the geothermal volcanic heated one.
Just the diabetes, like I'm basically like shitting out loaves of bread. Like I've had enough. Like it's honest to God, Rob. You've never been on metformin. Like it's so like I look
on metformin mistakenly. Yeah, they misdiagnosed my
whatever it does.
So,
it makes you like not do anything, and when you do, like bowel movements are painful. So that's all I'm gonna say.
You almost just need to take a shower right afterwards. Like it's
an experience that like it hurts. It hurts. Yeah. Like I'd rather be like hit. But anyway, I'm gonna get one, Pat, if you and Rob endorse it. And I'm sticking with who's pick? My pick, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Bronze.
Yep.
Yeah.
Can I ask you guys one more question that's football related now?
You don't have to ask questions, by the way. You can just ask.
Do you like the Carolina Panthers against the Bengals?
No.
That means I should probably take it.
That should lock it in for you. That the play.
You know what? Screw it. Rob, we can't have all the same picks. You don't have the Lions, right? So we have 2 of the 3, not 3. You have
you have
Washington.
The Lions.
You have
Washington. We have the same.
And
just we have one overlap. That's it. I have the Raiders. You don't have the Raiders.
Oh God, no! I'm not touching that game with a 10-foot pole. I almost took Steffi Graf in Jacksonville, but they got issues. Give me the Feinberg family, the lightning bolt, high voltage Chargers. I think they go in there and see. Now I sound confident. That's not good. I think the Chargers are in a good spot this week, guys. I think they can cover 3.
The Chargers are going to play a football game and maybe they'll win.
Yeah, and maybe and maybe win by more than 3.
Maybe.
Possibly. Yeah.
What am I going to say? Bronze pick for Rob is Washington plus 3.5.
Play the game, Pat. I love when we play games. You ask me what we like and stuff like that. It's part of the fun.
So I was big on the Bears plus 5. Until I
like it.
I heard Cuss go off about how Miami's the worst team in football, and that scared the shit out of me.
No.
That's obviously not true. But
the Bears are not even close to the worst team.
I have been paying attention this year, and I will say, Cuss gets a bad rap. His picks are above 500 this year. His ATS picks across the board. I noticed that in the last show.
You just don't want him saying, "Congratulations, Francisco Molinari, on your win," when the guy goes double. You don't need him talking when a golf tournament's on. I love Cuss too. I think he's a great human being. Guy's smart. He's got a PhD in every. I just don't like the wins before the wins. I'm a gambling superstitious guy. Don't do that. Anything else? He can rate food, even though he like some of his food takes. I disagree with his the way he ranks spreads and stuff like that. I have a totally different list, but just don't do that. Do everything else. But you're right, Rob. Guy's been pretty good.
I think when he puts his foot down and like he really goes all in on something, that's where it has like really bad consequences. Like he almost always looks like an idiot on these things that like you can't go out and say the Dolphins are the worst team in the league. Like the Dolphins will probably now win like 5 of 6 games or go on some run where he will look like, he doubles down on a lot of these things over and over. And then I just can't get over the fact that he actually killed a horse. Like he picked a horse to win and the horse died. That's really upsetting.
Oh, is that the one that where Donald Trump called
Medina Spirit?
Yeah. Donald Trump goes, yeah, you and your junky horse. I'm sure the horse goes to the freaking horse dealer and puts a needle in his hoof.
Well,
like, give me a break.
Hold on. So I guess, Rob, you're not aware. I mean, there's a reason that we can fill an entire 2.5 hours based on his terrible takes every single year. But this wasn't the first horse death that we've had from Cust. I mean, we had Medina Spirit. He died, shortly after. He also picked 8 Bells to win when 8 Bells died on the track.
Oh, I think I do recall that. I do watch the Custies every year, and I vote on them as well. And there was a lot that I didn't know of this year that he specifically said. But the guy is a walking curse. It's just the stuff that he really, gets into when, what he feels the most. It's like what Cam said off the top of the show, right? Like when he's really confident in something, it doesn't go well. But when he's less confident, it goes well. And I feel the same is true for Cust. In a lot of scenarios, he just really goes in on something and he hits home with it, and it never works out for
What
him.
happened to the horse? Did he have a heart attack, Pat, or was it something else?
No, 8 Bells. I think 8 Bells broke its leg in the Kentucky Derby, and they shoot it in the head on the track.
Yeah, they had to bring out
I've always said that can't they just like put those horses to like petting zoos and stuff? Can't he just like kind of walk with a limp, or do they have to kill him?
My wife was talking about this before. I don't think that there's a surgery that can actually like save the horse at that point.
That sucks.
Yeah.
I like horses.
Sad.
So
just no more horse picks from Cust. Please just let him. No more animal picks. No greyhounds. No nothing. Don't let him pick animal races.
It's funny because he when I first met him, during college, just chilling in his place, he had 4 greyhounds. His parents did.
Wicked. Do they race?
No, they were former racing dogs that they brought in.
Nice. He's an animal lover. Got to respect that.
So I want to take one of these big spreads, and I don't know which way I want to do it, because I'm going to stay away from the Miami Bears game, although I do like the Bears. I was thinking about going with Philly on Thursday night, because the Texans are god-awful. And
Don't do it.
Don't do it, because the line's now moving back. It was 13, it went to 13.5, went to 14, now it's back to 13.5. I was thinking
this game, Pat, has. I know what it is. I could just I have a feeling the Eagles are going to be up 20, and Houston's going to get a late touchdown like they did last week, even though they only had 10 points against Tennessee. There's just something telling me this game smells fishy. That's all. But that's me. I'm a paranoid person.
I was thinking about the Jets, 12.5 against the Bills. I think their defense is good enough to turn Josh Allen over a few times and keep this close. But it's almost like the Rams situation. Can they score any points? I don't know.
Man, I don't know how the Jets are going to score. I mean, listen, it's football. We see weird stuff every week, but Zach Wilson, he is horrible.
His mistakes are monumental mistakes. He doesn't throw the ball away. Just
can't even throw the ball away.
I know.
Throws it to a defender.
I know. It's unreal. Get your head checked. I'm with you, man.
Yeah, I don't know. The Bills side, that's I think a name their score type of game, but I don't know.
And this kind of works to the Cuss theory as well, is that he thinks that the Jets should cut Zach Wilson, and he wouldn't even bet him to be XFL MVP when he's playing in the XFL next year.
I honestly kind of agree with Cuss.
I agree.
I think Zach Wilson is that bad. Zach Wilson sucks. Forget about where he was drafted. That's what people always hint. It's Zach Wilson.
And Rob, the best thing is, if you pay attention, the guy beat teams like Coastal Carolina. You're a BYU quarterback. It's not like you played Alabama, you play LSU, you play Ole Miss, you play Killers. Take a look at the teams, Pat. It's all you need to know. He's so good. What a game-changing athlete. The guy's schedule sucked. I remember we were even saying on the show, I wouldn't draft this guy. I stick to it. I'm not a fan.
Who was the quarterback that was from UCF as well? That was it. Gabbard? Was it? No, it was Bortles. No,
Blake Bortles went to UCF.
Bortles. Yeah, that was the same thing with him. Great athlete and whatever. I watched the UCF bowl game that year. I'm like, this is the guy that they're talking about.
I know.
I mean, I don't. Anyways, but yeah, Wilson stinks.
You can always throw that back the other way too. It's not like Josh Allen was playing anyone. I mean, Joe Flacco played for Delaware.
Yeah. No, good call, Pat. Good call. But the difference is when you watch Allen play, there was a progression there. Those guys who were they were what they were. When you watch Wyoming play, he did crazy stuff sometimes. He'd make mistakes. That's why Josh Allen has become that guy. He could bowl you over. He could do other things, like his body type too. That's why you draft him. The guy's an absolute monster.
But to Pat's point, like Josh Allen, like when he was rookie, like he was horrible.
I know he was.
His accuracy, like he used to so, you know, there are quarterbacks that can come around. I don't have to completely write Zach Wilson off yet, but so far what we've seen in the NFL, the guy's clueless, man. He doesn't feel pressure. He makes horrible decisions. I don't know. The Bills defense to me is so good. I don't know how the Jets are going to score enough to cover that spread.
Okay, so this is down to the Bengals and Patriots for me. I'm going to take the Patriots -5.5. I don't care about the reverse line movement or if sharps like the Colts. No. I just see this as Belichick versus Sam Ehlinger, and just give me Belichick in New England. It seems I'm trying to make it as easy as possible for myself.
Well, you know what, Pat? Your theory on Tennessee, you said, screw it. I don't care if it's a trap or whatever. It worked for you last week. You know what? Just a tip to everybody. Rob gets to the finish line one way. I get to the finish line one way. You get there. Whatever works for you, do it.
Yes.
That's my advice.
I will say this to Pat. You said, like, I don't care that the Sharps like the Colts. The Sharps like the Colts at 6, and that's why it's 5.5 now. They don't like it at 5.5 anymore, or else it would be 5 or 4.5 or so on and so forth. So now we're at what the market has said. So people say that all the time, like Sharps are on this. Well, the Sharps were on this at a specific number.
That's a good point, Rob.
Different now. So I would just caution people who take that approach.
Yep.
All right. That's it. You guys got anything else?
Pat, run through the rest of the board or what?
Well, I'll give you a couple picks. So I know you guys, threw
Different
down
minerals.
A couple things. Yeah, I'll give you a couple extra minerals. Just on Halloween, Pat, it was funny. We're doing the show, and I realized I had some Reese's peanut butter cups in the freezer downstairs. So I brought out a bowl, which was glass, which is idiotic for Halloween, but it's the bowl I had. So I dumped the peanut butter cups in the bowl, and I got to be honest with you. Halloween was for betting was one of my best nights I've had, whatever. And I've had a horrible month. I'm not going to lie. Pat, I go outside. I'm thinking, like, guys egged my house before. My bowl is intact. And then I look, I have a key in the door as I'm drooling, like, on the couch after, like, my show last night. And I was thinking, why wouldn't a criminal, like, I got lucky because he didn't take it. But if you're a prowler, why would you not just take the key? I would have no idea, and then come back and get me when I'm not around.
Well,
because most people aren't psychos.
Yeah, well, most people aren't psychos, and you say you did this on Halloween?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, so no, it actually helped on Halloween because they're thinking if I come in this guy's house, he's gonna murder me. Right?
Yeah, and I would also guess that very few prowlers are out scouting houses on Halloween when there's just hundreds of people around.
That's true, but what about 5 o'clock in the morning? The kids go to bed at 8, right? And it was there all night.
But how many people are walking up your doorstep to everyone's doorstep to see that there's a key in the door?
There's a lot of Rob. We had a note from the condo board. There's guys breaking into people's cars. They're like, watch out for this gentleman. Like he's trying to. We have a lot of these weirdos walking up Dundas. I don't know what drugs they're on, but they go for little tours around looking for cans and stuff. So click, 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 click.
Yeah, but cars make sense because they're not close to your house. They're far away from people actually looking. Like a lot of prowlers know these days. I mean, I don't know if you do or not. Let's just say that you do, to throw that out there into the ether.
Yes.
People have cameras on their doors.
It's a good point. Guy can wear a balaclava or whatever. And the thing is, when there's no car in the driveway, you could assume that somebody's not around. Anyway, I got lucky on Halloween. I left my key in the door, woke up, it was still there, and no kids egged my house, and the candy, the glass bowl was still there. So I'd call it a success.
Give humanity a little bit more credit than you do. Like car theft and home invasions are very different things. Like breaking into someone's car.
I know that, Rob. I'm just saying. If you saw a key in the door and you're like a guy who's not a good person, you can take the key, wait for another time, and go, I think this person might not be around now. I don't know if I'm giving humanity credit. I'm just saying, I'm lucky. That's it. I'm
also wondering about some of the details that you chose to share of this story, like putting your Reese's peanut butter cup in the freezer, which I think had nothing to do with anything related to this story.
That's how I found. No, it didn't. I found the candy. I have them I keep chocolates in the freezer. I keep everything in the freezer.
Except
for milk, because milk will curdle.
You could have started the story with you left the key in the door
Yes.
on Halloween. And that could have been the entire story.
So
like the Reese's Cups, the glass bowl, like that is all irrelevant.
So edit it out. The story sucked. I'm just telling you, I feel very fortunate not to be lying on the floor drooling with somebody, going through stuff. But then again, I have no valuables other than an Apple computer. And like, what are you going to do? Steal my CDs?
Well, what if someone took that key, went to Canadian Tire, got it copied, and then brought back your original key, put it back in the door so you wouldn't know the difference?
That's even more of a sophisticated criminal.
Yeah, but I don't think you would need to do that. Like, if someone has left their key in the door, clearly they don't remember leaving the key in the door. So if you took it, they wouldn't even know.
That's right, Pat. That was my whole point to my story.
Yeah,
so
no, I get that, but like, is it a loose key that you're using? It's not like on your keychain?
No, I'm so clued out. I left it in the door because I got a lot of things going on. You're carrying groceries, beer, whatever.
No, but
anyway,
Pat's
I got to be more
Pat's
careful.
asking, is the key on a chain or is it just a key?
It's a loose. It's just a key. It's
Wait,
just
you
a
don't
key.
know
No chain.
That's more serial killer type stuff than anything.
Yeah,
you've
like,
ever
are you
said
going to
on
a
the
lot
show.
of key parties? Is this what you're doing?
I have car keys with a house key on it. It's just a loose key. I like to have an extra couple keys because I lose them all the time. Now you're shaking me down because I got like keys not on chains. I just keep it in my pocket.
Yeah, that's very, very unusual.
Keep it in a like a little cigarette pack or something. I don't know. Like, who cares? Why do I need a keychain?
Wait, you hiding
Well, I mean, there's
you're
probably all
hiding
sorts of your
keys?
keys all over the town now, and
Yeah.
you're worried about people breaking into your house. You're leaving.
I'm
keys
not hiding
everywhere.
keys all over the town. I didn't put it under the mat or anything like that. I just said I got extra keys because
But you said you
sometimes
lose
I
them all the
them.
time. Yeah, so
I do lose them all the time. Sometimes you're doing laundry, maybe they'll pop out. Anyway, you know what? I don't even know why I bring this stuff up. My stories suck. Like,
Well, no, the story itself is fine. I just have a lot of questions because if you're losing keys around town all the time, then who cares if you left the key in the door? And it was like, why are you worried about that when you've lost?
because
already
somebody
a bunch of
can
keys?
see it. That's the difference. If I lose it on the street, who the hell is they going to know? What, out of 1.5 million people in Mississauga, they think it's this guy's place? If I lose it in a grocery store, how the hell are they going to know it's mine?
If
That's
you drop
the
it
point.
if you drop it in your townhouse unit somewhere, you might have some kid who's going around and trying doors or something like that with the key.
Yeah, but I didn't say I lost it. Anyway.
You don't know where you lost these keys. That's the difference. First of all, just put the
sometimes.
key on a keychain like a normal human would do.
What, with a phone number on it?
No,
Contact
don't
me
put your
if
phone
found.
number, obviously. You don't put your phone number on it, but it's harder to lose keys when you have them on a
Like,
big keychain.
have you not made the correlation that you're losing these keys because they're not on any sort of keychain? Like, just use the one that's on your car keys. You never lose your car keys.
I know. I use that one. I like to have extras, like when I go for a walk and I don't want the car keys and the heaviness of the chain weighing me down. Anyway, this
Why
is
don't you just
stupid.
get one of those digit pads? That you can
Yes.
just type
Okay.
in a
So
code
this is
and
the whole
it's
thing.
unlocked.
I had to
I
convince.
got one, but they freeze up when the weather gets
No,
cold.
they don't.
I got an answer. Yeah,
I had
Pat,
to convince my
I'm telling you the
grandparents
truth.
to
I'm
do
telling you the
this.
truth.
They were very
I'm telling
resistant to it. I went to Canadian Tire, got them a master lock because they kept putting the key. They've had the key under their mat for like 40 years. I was like,
I still do it. Not anymore in today's society.
Just take this master lock, put it right here, memorize the 3 digits, and then just put the key in there every time that you go
Just
out.
please
And if you
listen
ever
to me.
forget it, you're good.
Please listen to me. I will say this. I have a garage thing with a keypad thing. The buttons get weird, man. Like, you do the code, it never opens. It never opens.
That's not what we're talking about.
Oh, okay, the front door.
Yeah, we're talking about, how like real estate agents use that like lock that they put the key in.
Yeah.
Get one of those.
Yeah. Okay, well, I didn't think they sell them on the open market, but okay.
They're like
There's lots of
$15.
solutions. Dude, there's all sorts of stuff. I've seen all sorts of crazy things.
Okay.
But-
Okay. And I also want to get one of those cameras on your porch because a lot of people steal people's food and stuff from places that you order stuff. It's a real problem.
Agreed.
Like you're ordering a pizza and they put it outside and somebody's stealing your pizza.
People will take anything. My neighbor had like an order from Amazon stolen, so they got one of those ring things. People steal anything these days. Or I don't, but there's a lot of people out there. It's the grift is on. Inflation's high.
I mean, that's how I finance this entire show. After the show, I got to go make like 3-hour rounds just driving by people's houses. See if I can steal their Amazon packages.
Amen. Yeah. And by the way, I don't care what you guys think. Pat, you compare me to a senior. That's fine. I am going to get a metal detector, and it's going to be my hobby when I'm not doing these shows anymore.
Sorry, what?
I want a metal detector to find like rings and stuff on beaches. Like I think that would I think it would be Anyway, I don't even want to say these things.
You're going to go down to Wasaga Beach and you're just going to be the guy walking around with a metal detector looking for treasures?
I have two dreams when I retire from this stuff: to wake up, have a beautiful breakfast, and bet on horses all day in the afternoon like the old guys do. And then when I got some time, I go hit up places with my metal detector and find things that are buried. Anyway,
you need to contact a screenwriter or something.
No, that's essentially just the Carl Reiner character from Ocean's 11.
It's true, yes.
Really? Okay,
Yeah.
well, he's got a good plan.
Cam's going to be at the track eating his grapefruit, and then he's going to go out after and just go metal detecting.
I'd prefer sausages, eggs over easy, and sourdough. But yeah, the same concept. And by the way, Pat, I've never seen Ocean's 11.
Really?
Oh.
I don't watch movies. The last movie I saw in a theater was that movie about Tanya Harding, where Galuli hits her with a crowbar. It's called Tanya or something like that.
Yeah.
That was about 20 years ago.
No, it wasn't 20 years ago. It was like 4 years ago, maybe.
Whatever it is. I don't go to the theater.
Ocean's 11 came out 21 years ago.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's possible that you could have. It's always on TV too.
Yeah. I find. Yeah. I mean, it's just.
Yeah. I just don't go to the theater much. Yeah. No. I should be a movie guy.
Dateline, NBC, and American Justice, and whatever else.
Yes.
Prefers those things.
Yes, I do. I was going to go see the Bob's Burger movie, but I don't think it's in theaters anymore. But anyway.
That will do it on the Pat Mayo Experience. Week 9, Best Bets. You can follow Rob on Twitter at Rob Pizzola and check out all of his work at thehammer.bet. And remember to subscribe to The Hammer HQ on YouTube. Find the link down in the description. Cam Stewart on SportsGrid at Cam Stewart Live. I'm at the PME. Rate and review, smash the like, and sub to the channel. Thank you very much. I'll see you next week.
Mayo Experience! Experience!